Good morning students. Welcome to JKRB online classes. I am your computer teacher and today we discuss about our third chapter, that is computer ethics. Our third chapter is computer ethics. So students, before starting the class, first we have to know what is ethics. Ethics means rules. So we all are using computer, and because of using computer we have some rules and we have to obey that rules. So it's basically the rule are placing means by the help of ethics we can judge that whether that work is good or that is bad. So in every society also some rules are there. Because of that rules which decide certain acts are ethical or unethical. So ethical and unethical. Ethical means that rules is good or not, and ethical means we can judge that rules are correct or not, and unethical means if we break that rule. Both the words meaning is that, and now we can discuss about computer ethics. So we all have to aware of certain ethics which we have to keep in mind while we are using computers. So when we are using computer, we have to keep in mind the rules. What are the rules of computer? Specifically determine what is the right and what is wrong while we are using the computer. So ethics gives the rules which can determine that what we are using by the help of computer, that is good or that is wrong, means that is good and that is bad, or that can define by ethics. So there are people who always break the rules of society for money or just for fun. So in our society some people are there, they break the rules of society because of money or because of any fun. So this is not good, and the technology makes it possible for unethical and criminal activities to be carried out in more sophisticated ways. So in computer ethics, some technologies are there that can determine that things are wrong or that things are right. So we have to develop a good sense and social responsibilities. By the help of ethics, we can develop a good sense and a social responsibilities. So some important ethics are there in computer. That first one is, don't use the computer to harm other people. So by the help of computer we don't have to harm other people. Means what are these? Later we can discuss about that. So the first one is, we don't have to use computer to harm other peoples. The next one is, don't interfere in others' computer work. When someone is working in its own computer, or someone is working on computer, then we don't have to interfere on that. And the next one is, don't snoop around the others' files. Like sometimes we are using our brother's laptop or our sister's laptop. They all have some privacy also, but we don't have to look at that. But sometimes we do that. We open all the files and we are checking that what it saves or what are they are keeping in their laptops. And this is completely wrong. We don't have to snoop others' files, because if we are using others' laptop or others' computer, then we have to take permissions to open their files. So students, don't use others' which we don't have paid. Means in computer, what software we are using, that all have licensed. Licensed means we have to pay for that. Means for a software we have to buy that, and for buying we have to pay for that. So don't use or copy. But basically we are using some softwares and we are just copying from another computer and use that. This is also a wrong way. And next is, don't use others computer resources without authorizations. Means we don't have to use other computers, means other systems. If I have a laptop and I am giving you for doing like writing a word or writing something, and you don't have, I didn't give any permissions to open other files, then you don't have to open other files. Do not copy others in actual output. Means we don't have to do anything else in others computer. Don't think about the think about the social consequence of the program we write. When we are doing something in computer and that is if illegal, then we have to think that if we do like this, then what the society can face for that. Means like sometimes we are listening that the question paper hack, the document have hacked. Because of that, some people's this unethical they are doing some unethical things. For that the data are leaked, so that is completely wrong. So we don't have to do all the things. So now we can discuss about IPR. So what is IPR? IPR means So what is IPR? IPR means intellectual property rights. What is that? Now we can read that. What is IPR? So the rights related to literary or artistic work, invention, that are called intellectual property rights. So in this the rights given to person over the creation of their minds. Means what the people are thinking on their mind, that all things are goes under this. These creations of mind usually give the creator an exclusive right over the user of his or her creation of a certain period of time. It means when we are thinking something, means what is actually goes on in our mind, that is right or wrong, these all things are considered in this intellectual property of rights. Now we can learn about what is copyright. You have listened that one copyrighted word. Copyright. This symbol is like this. This is the symbol of copyright. So now we can learn about what is copyright. Copyright is, this symbol is this symbol is enclosed within a circle. Means a small c is enclosed in within a circle. So what it is, why we use this? This is a different item like books, magazine, etc. The symbol is used widely. It is used widely. The symbol generally comes before a statement. It means all right reserved. It is used basically before a sentence. When we start a sentence, before that it is used, and it is known as all right reserved. So the symbol shows that the material and informations are copyrighted. Means which informations are copyrighted. This symbol shows that things that this symbol shows that the material and informations are copyrighted, copyright which is with us. It is unlawful and unethical to use them without the permission of the owner. Before I told that if we are using a unlicensed things, that is unethical. So if it is unlawful and unethical to use without the permission of owner. When a owner doesn't give any permission and if we copyright that, then it is goes under unethical. So in this we have to protect the rights of performers, for example actors, singers, musicians. So in copyrights rights we have to protect the rights of performers, actors, singers, musicians, and the social purpose of protection of copyrights and related rights is to encourage and reward creative works. So we have to protect the copyrights files and encourage and reward creative works. So students, next one is software privacy. Next we discuss about software privacy. Next one is what is software privacy and why we need this? So software privacy is a illegal reproduction and distribution of software applications. Pirated software is a very dangerous trend. Means for software also we have to need some privacy. And if we take a pirated software, then it is very dangerous for our system. It hurts everyone, whether it is developer or a seller or a software user. Like if a pirated software we are using, for that it hurts everyone. Like who is developed that software, he also affected from that software, and a seller also, means who is selling that software, he also face some problems for that pirated software, and the software user who are using that software, they also face that problem, because the system will got hanged, or the system got so many problems for that. So it has a significant impact of an economy. So when we got a pirated software, then it also affect our economy. So and the legally copied of software is also piracy. So the next is, so in software piracy we can discuss about some different forms of piracy are there. So we discuss about the first one, that is end user piracy. The first one is end user all software is in their computers and sell them to the users. Like some computer manufacturers, means in some computer shops, when we are going to buy a computer, then they install some softwares from that time, that is called pre-installed software. So in this also we need some piracy. So if that is in a legal process, and means that installed have to be in a legal process, but when a computer manufacturer takes a one copy of particular software and intelligently and installed it on one or more than computer, it is considered as pre-installed software piracy. Means when a manufactured computer, we are buying computer in a shop, then the shopkeeper has to install some software at that time that have to be authorized software. But if the shopkeeper is not giving the software, and that is not a means that is if a copy of a particular software, then that is goes under pre-installed software piracy. So the next is counterfeiting. So in this, counterfeiting is the process of making distributing legal copies of software package that are reduced from the one developer's package. Some people make duplicate CDs of original software and sell them at low price, and the legal copies resemble the original copies. So when what is comes under this, means you have seen that some software, every software have a CDs, means that CDs is licensed, and but some people are there, they make duplicate CDs like that, and sell the same software at lower price. That is called counterfeiting. So next one is online auction piracy. So it takes several forms, such as selling of software that is never authorized or realized by the third party. Means it is selling so many softwares, and that is never authorized for resale by a third party. Online distributor use legal terms and fetches to fool users. Means online distributors are there, and they are trying to fool the users by giving them piracy softwares. The price of software is sometimes too high and must not be used. Cheap legally copies which are easily available. Means some softwares are there that software's price are sometimes it's too costly for user, but we don't have to buy illegal copies of that which are easily available. If we are really needs that software, then we have to pay that money. So it may appear to be beneficial for sometimes, but ultimately it leads in frustrations, as most pirated software has some limitations, because piracy softwares have also some limitation. If we buy that corrupted software, and we are not giving so much, means that cost of that software, and we are taking that unlicensed software, then sometimes sometimes it is so very harmful for us. For this limitation of for some limitations of pirated software are, first one is quality. So in quality, pirated software often does not have elements like warranty protection and upgradations. Like when we are taking some some softwares, then if that is licensed, then the developer gave some warranty period. But if we are giving that pirated software, then we don't have that warranty protection of that software. So the quality is not good like that licensed software. The next one is viruses. So you have listened this word virus. When the system got virused, then the system got the informations lost. So some people supply dangerous virus with the counterfeit CDs. Like sometimes you have listened that some people are telling that don't use that CD because that is that some virus are there. And in mobile also you are telling don't connect in that system, my mobile got virus. So what is virus? Some people are means virus is basically to damage the hard disk of a computer, and it is drawing the valuable data. Means through virus all the data sometimes got erased. So it is a duty of each of us to show morality and avoid use pirated software. So students, don't use any pirated software. If we are using any software, then we have to buy and we have to make sure that that is a licensed software. So the next one is privacy. So in privacy has become an important asset of life, and in privacy applies in also computer also we need some privacy. Suppose one friend has stored some private informations on her computer, on each computer, then it is important to note that we most not try to access that information. But what we are doing, when we are using someone's computer, then we are opening and searching every files. But that is not good, because everyone have a privacy, so we don't have to open another's informations. If we are using some friend's computer, then if he permits us to access the computer and allow us to viewing his informations saved in the computer, then if we are if by mistakenly also if we see that informations, then we don't have to disclose to it others peoples. But what we are doing, when we are listening or when we are knowing about someone's privacy, we are telling to everyone. So it is completely wrong. So students, when you know anyone's privacy, then you don't have to disclose to another people's. So it is also unethical to interfere with someone else's works, and we don't have to interfere in another people's works also. Now we discuss about computer crime. Next is our computer crime. So what is computer crime? Computer crime is a crime that is committed with the help of computer over a network. Means what we are doing in the computer, that is called computer crime. Means if that is committed to means that is if harmful to another people, then that is called computer crime. So basically there are some types of computer crimes are there. The first one is hacking or unlawful accessing of computer system or a network. Means if we are hacking a system, hacking means if you don't know that means if you open that page and unlawful accessing the computer system, that is we don't have to do, that is a computer crime. And changing or damaging, copying or stealing software or data. Now I told you that we don't have to steal that software or we don't have to copy that software illegally. That is also a computer crime. The next one is placing malware or a virus on a computer system. Students, malware is a computer virus name. It is very harmful, and we don't have to placing any malware or also a computer crime. Blocking someone's computer or network access. Sometimes you have seen that we can block any network access in computer. That is also a computer crime. Using encryption to carry out a crime. If we encrypted a data by the help of computer, then that is also comes under computer crime. Cyber stalking and stalking someone over the internet is also a computer crime. Stealing services or informations, stealing personal information is also a computer crime. We don't have to do in computer that we don't have to steal another informations, or we cannot steal any services or informations from by the help of computer. If we are doing that, then that all comes under computer crime. So, in case of other system and fields, there are also crime-related computers is there. People who are associated with computer crimes are often called hackers. You have listened the word hackers. Who does the hack is called, they are known as hackers. So, hackers are what basically they are do. People who are associated with computer crimes are often told that hackers, crackers and virus programmers. So they are the people who violate computer security. So what is that? Hacker is a person who breaks into a computer system to get illegal access to that information. What hacker do? Hacker do who breaks into a computer system to get illegal access to the informations. And a hacker may not cause any harm to the system or organizations, but hacking is still illegal and unethical. So students, hacker cannot do any harm to our system or organization, but hacking is completely illegal. So we don't have to do any time that hacking is a very unethical and illegal thing. And next one is cracker. What is a cracker? So a cracker is a person who breaks into a computer system just like a hacker. How a hacker is hacking a computer, the same way cracker is also hacking a computer with the intention of steal passwords or files or programs for unauthorized use. Means what cracker has to? Cracker has steal the password or any files or any programs often for unauthorized use. If a cracker means cracker do a unauthorized use for a system, that it can steal that passwords and some informations. They may sell the information to some other people for money. Means cracker are so harmful because they are stealing that password and they are selling the information to another people for money. Crackers cause financial damage to an organization. So students, hacker does not affect more, but cracker cause a financial damage to an organization. Now we can study how computer security. What is computer security? So we have to protect our computer. That is called computer security. Security refers to a techniques for ensuring that the data stored in the computer is not read or compromised by any individuals without authorizations. So like some people are doing computer crimes. Away from that, we have to safely secure all the things in our computer. For that, we are using computer security. So in that for computer security basically a translation form that no one can encrypted data no one can access. Means if a hacker or cracker can hack the things, then also the data will be encrypted and the hacker or cracker cannot know about the data. And a password is a secret word or phrase that gives the user access to a particular program or a system. You have also, if you have a social account also, there we are using that password, and in our system also we are putting some passwords, because the passwords, that is password is a word or a number what we can place, and the password is give the user to a security. So computer security have divided some following categories like hardware, software, network, and natural disasters. Hardware, software, network, and some natural disasters. So what is all this? Hardware is a bridges can be both intentional and accidental cables, modems, phone lines, and often of security breaches. Means in hardware we have both. So the next one is software. Software breaches include computer virus, password cracking, and various sniffer programs. So the next one is networks. In network we are using, it is basically used for transmit data and informations. They may be trapped by unauthentical people to access information about a company. Networks means when we are hacking something from the internet, that all things are going under this network. By this network, some of the transmitted data and informations are trapped and unauthentically used. And the next one is natural disasters. Natural disasters like earthquake, flood can allow security breaches. Means by these natural disasters like earthquakes and floods, some of the security breaches are breaks and easily the data can be hacked. So from that we have to secure our computer. So how we control the breaches? So there are many types of controls are there. The first one is application controls are procedures that ensure the security and quality of applications in any organizations. Application controls include input, output, and processing control, storage of informations. Means in application control we can input and output, that processing controls, storage and informations. In development controls, it refers to security of a system during developing stage. Means it gives the security when the system is developing that software, and it includes data security or documentation security. Actors control include managing user accounts and password to ensure authorized access the data, programs, and computer systems. Means when we access the controlling, then we can manage our user account and by the help of password, and we can save the documents. So next, the physical security controls are used to protect system physically from damage. Means in physical security, when it secures that physically damaged, it protect the systems from its physically damage. It includes different storage media like CDs or floppy disks, etc. In CDs and floppy disks, we can store our informations also. So if the data can hack or data can physically damage, then we can easily retrieve from CDs and from floppy disks. Personal controls are procedure to execute end users about various security measures on a computer system or in a network. So if we like in our mobile also, when we are saving a contacts, if we save in a mobile phone only, then when we are changing a phone or if we lost our phone, then all the contacts will erased because we don't have our phone. And now if we save all the contacts in our Gmail account, then when we are accessing in a new phone, then all the contacts will come there automatically. So we don't have to again save that things. So like this we can also control from this from unethically systems. So students, basically